ever felt like your brain is just buffering right when you need it most, maybe in a big meeting?
Or maybe like your whole system is stuck in airplane mode.
Exactly. You're trying to focus, the screen's blurry, thoughts feel like wading through treacle.
It's such a common feeling. And yeah, stress, burnout, they're real factors. But there might be something else, often overlooked.
What'd you say?
Could actually be a sign your brain is running low on something vital. B vitamins.
Okay, B vitamins. So let's really dive into this then. Our mission today really is to get under the hood of the B complex.
Right.
We want to uncover how these nutrients really work for, mental clarity, mood, energy, and importantly, why even people with okay diets, especially us office workers, might be low.
Precisely. We're going to explore how these vitamins can essentially act like a crucial recharge for that overworked brain.
Helping you switch from that buffering feeling to actually feeling sharp.
Exactly, from buffering to focused.
So first things first, what are B vitamins, really, for anyone maybe not familiar?
Okay, so think of them as a team. There are 8 of them, and they're all water-soluble vitamins.
Water-soluble, okay.
And they work together, kind of behind the scenes. They play these absolutely critical roles in brain function, how your body makes energy, and just the overall health of your nervous system.
So not just one thing, but a whole system support crew.
That's a great way to put it. And each one has a bit of a specialty, especially when we're talking cognitive function and, modern work life.
Like which ones?
Well, you've got B1, thiamine. People often call it the brain fuel vitamin.
Brain fuel, why?
Because it's fundamental for how your brain actually uses glucose, its main energy source.
Gotcha. Okay, what else?
Then there's B6, pyridoxine. That's a key player in mood regulation.
Ah, okay. Mood. How does that work?
It's involved in making neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers like serotonin and dopamine that really influence how you feel.
Right. And B9, folate.
Crucial. Absolutely essential for DNA repair, cell growth, and memory function.
Wow, okay. And B12. I feel like I hear about that one a lot.
You probably do. Cotylamine, or B12, is vital for nerve health, protecting the nerve coverings, and it's also key for energy metabolism.
So quite the lineup.
Definitely. And look, this isn't just guesswork. There was a study, I think back in 2010, in the Journal of Psychopharmacology.
Okay.
It showed that giving healthy adults a B-complex supplement led to significant improvements in their stress levels, their mood, and their cognitive performance. So the research really supports this.
Which leads to the big question, right? If they're so vital, why are so many of us, especially in demanding jobs, running low?
Yeah, that's the key. It comes down to that water-soluble point we mentioned.
Okay, unpack that a bit more.
It simply means your body doesn't store them well. Unlike fat-soluble vitamins like D or A, B vitamins get flushed out pretty easily.
So you need a constant supply.
You need to replenish them regularly, often daily. They get used up quickly.
Okay, so what are the things in, say, a typical office environment that deplete them?
Oh, they're kind of everywhere. Number 1 is probably stress.
Stress. How does that work?
High stress levels specifically chew through B5, that's pantothenic acid, and B6. Your body uses them up to make stress hormones like cortisol.
So the more stressed you are, the more you need them, but the faster you lose them.
Exactly. It's this vicious cycle. Stress acts like a metabolic thief, stealing Bs needed for focus and mood to handle the stress response.
A metabolic thief. I like that. Okay, what else? Not just stress, surely.
No, definitely not. Think about the office routine. Caffeine.
Oh, guilty.
Yeah, that common staple can contribute to depletion. And then there's diet. Lots of processed foods, often low in these vital nutrients.
Right. Convenience food isn't always nutrient dense.
Not at all. And that whole office culture skipping meals, the sad desk lunch while staring at a screen.
Yeah, the cold sandwich.
It all adds up. It reduces your overall nutrient intake, leaving you with even less to work with.
So it's not just the big blow-ups, it's the constant low-level drain.
Precisely. All those emails, the deadlines, the multitasking, it's like they're slowly draining your mental battery. You feel sluggish, even if you haven't run a marathon.
Makes sense. And you mentioned diet. Any specific groups at higher risk?
Yes, definitely. If you follow a vegan or vegetarian diet, you need to be particularly mindful of B12.
Why B12 specifically?
Because it's primarily found in animal products, so without those, you really need to supplement or focus on fortified foods.
Okay, good to know. So let's talk symptoms. How would you actually know if this is happening? What are the signs during the workday?
Well, they often overlap with just feeling tired or stressed, which is why it gets missed. But things like persistent brain fog, that can be linked to low B1 and B6.
Brain fog. Okay. What else?
feeling consistently low or more anxious than usual. That could point towards deficiencies in B6, B9, and B12.
Mm-hmm.
And that classic afternoon energy crash, feeling like you hit a wall around 2 or 3 p.m.
Oh, yeah. The 3 p.m. slump is real.
It really is. And it can definitely be a sign of low B2, B5, and B12, which are all involved in energy production.
Any other sort of more physical signs?
Yes. Particularly with B12 deficiency, you might experience tingling or numbness, often in the hands or feet. Forgetfulness is another one, linked to low B1 and B12.
Okay, but hang on. Brain fog, fatigue, low mood. Couldn't that just be, not enough sleep? Or maybe just needing a better diet overall? Or even just chronic stress itself?
That is such an important point, and you're absolutely right. It's rarely just one single thing. Life is complex.
Right.
But B vitamins are a huge piece of that puzzle, and the tricky part is, like you said, the deficiency symptoms can mimic other issues.
How so?
Well, Harvard Health actually highlighted this. Severe B12 deficiency can present with symptoms that look a lot like dementia or clinical depression.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and because of that overlap, it can frequently go unnoticed or misdiagnosed, especially in adults who are under chronic stress anyway. They just think, oh, I'm stressed and tired.
That really changes perspective. Okay, so if someone is experiencing these things and they suspect B vitamins might be part of it, what can they do?
Well, the good news is, while it's definitely not a miracle pill,
Right. No magic bullets.
no magic bullets, but getting your B complex levels right can genuinely feel like, well, like turning the lights back on in a dim room. It can make a real difference.
Turning the lights back on. I like that. So how do you do it effectively? Just grab any B complex off the shelf?
Not necessarily. For better absorption, it's often recommended to look for methylated B vitamins.
Methylated. Okay, what does that actually mean?
Great question. So methylated basically means the vitamins are in their pre-activated form.
Reactivated.
Yeah. Your body can use them more directly, more easily. This is important because quite a few people actually have a common genetic variation. You might have heard of MTHFR.
Vaguely.
It makes it harder for their bodies to convert standard B vitamins into the active forms they need. So methylated forms bypass that step, making them more bioavailable for more people.
Gotcha. So look for methylated. And you mentioned B complex rather than just, say, taking B12.
Generally, yes. The B vitamins really work synergistically. They're a team.
Like we said earlier.
Exactly. They often enhance each other's functions. Taking them together in a complex formulation is usually more effective than just picking one or two individually, unless you have a specific diagnosed deficiency, of course.
Okay. Teamwork makes the dream work, even for vitamins.
You could say that. And for even better nervous system support, combining a good B complex with other key nutrients like magnesium and some healthy fats, think omega-3s can be really beneficial. It's like a complete tune-up kit for your brain.
A tune-up kit. Nice. And timing. Does it matter when you take them?
Generally, yes. Because they are involved in energy metabolism, taking them in the morning is usually best. It can give you a gentle boost for the day. Taking them late at night might, for some people, interfere with sleep.
Morning. Okay.
Yeah.
It really makes you rethink workplace wellness, doesn't it? It's not just about, step challenges.
Absolutely. And anecdotally, I've seen it make a difference. You see colleagues go from being completely wiped out by mid-afternoon.
Yeah, the can't function before 3 p.m. crowd.
Right, to actually being productive, finishing reports efficiently, even having energy left after work. It's quite remarkable when you see that shift happen.
It really is. And it feels like companies are starting to catch on.
Yeah.
Translating these kinds of insights into more practical solutions for the workplace.
Yes, definitely. We're seeing more initiatives now offering things like properly formulated, science-backed B-complex supplements, often with really clean ingredient lists as part of a corporate wellness offering.
Beyond just supplements, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Some are getting quite sophisticated. Think about personalized AI suggestions.
AI for vitamins.
Sort of. Imagine an AI that learns about your specific energy patterns or cognitive challenges based on maybe a questionnaire or even wearable data down the line.
Wow.
And it could then suggest adjustments to your B vitamin blend or nutrient timing tailored to your workday. Plus, incorporating healthy snacks that actually support nutrient absorption.
Making it holistic.
Exactly. And crucially, making it convenient. Delivered monthly, minimal hassle for HR departments. It takes the guesswork out for the employee.
So, really tying this all together, the modern way we work, it drains us. Subtly? Maybe. But significantly.
It really does.
And maybe the answer isn't always just push harder or hustle more.
Absolutely not. Sometimes it's about working smarter, and that includes refueling your internal systems more intelligently, giving your brain and nervous system the actual fuel they need to perform.
Right. So if you're listening and you're just tired of being tired all the time, if that brain fog feels permanent, maybe it's time to think differently. How are you actually feeding your focus? How are you supporting that crucial nervous system?
It's worth asking those questions.
Definitely. So here's a thought to leave you with. Next time you find yourself rereading the same sentence 3 times, or you completely forget what you walked into a room for, just remember, your brain might just need a little more B.